It was 3:42 a.m. when the cameras caught something I can't explain. I worked night security at a small office building on the edge of town. Nothing fancy, just rows of cubicles, silent hallways, and flickering fluorescent lights that hum like they're tired of existing. Most nights nothing happens. That's why I took the job. Quiet, predictable, until that night. I was halfway through my shift, sipping lukewarm coffee, watching the security feeds. Camera 7 flickered. That wasn't unusual. It always had static issues. But this time, the distortion lingered, like it was trying to form something. I leaned closer. For a second, I thought I saw a person standing at the far end of the hallway, but that made no sense. The building was locked. I had the only key. I switched to camera 7. Empty hallway. I exhaled slowly, brushing it off. Just shadows, I muttered. Then the flicker came back. Only this time. The figure was closer. I froze. I checked the timestamp. It hadn't skipped. This wasn't a recording glitch, whatever that was. It was moving. I grabbed my flashlight and radio. Probably just a trick of the light, I told myself, though my voice sounded thinner than usual. The hallway felt longer in person. Quieter. Even the hum of electricity seemed to fade as I stepped in. "Hello?" I called. Nothing. I walked slowly, sweeping the flashlight beam across the walls. Every shadow looked wrong, like it didn't belong where it was. Then I reached the end. Empty. I turned around and nearly dropped the flashlight because the hallway behind me looked longer than before. That's when my radio crackled. "Why did you leave the desk?" I froze. That voice, it sounded exactly like mine. "Who's there?" I snapped. No response. I rushed back to the security room. The monitors were still on, and camera 7 showed me standing in the hallway. But I was already back. The version of me on the screen didn't move like I had. It stood completely still, watching. Then slowly, it turned its head toward the camera, toward me, and smiled. I stumbled back, knocking over my chair. The feed cut to static. When it came back, the hallway was empty again. I checked every floor, every room, nothing. But I didn't feel alone anymore. At exactly 3:42 a.m. the next night, camera 7 flickered again. And this time, the thing wearing my face was already standing right outside the security room door.
No one else got off at that stop. That should have been my first warning. It was late, past midnight, and I had missed my usual ride. The only option left was the last bus. Old, nearly empty, and silent. The driver didn't say a word when I got on. Just nodded once, like he already knew where I was going. I sat near the back. There were only 3 other passengers. A man staring out the window, a woman clutching her bag too tightly, and someone sitting in the very last seat, face hidden. The bus moved. Streetlights flickered past, stretching shadows across the floor. Something felt off. Not wrong, just disconnected, like I wasn't where I was supposed to be. I checked my phone. No signal. That was strange. This route always had coverage. I glanced up. The man by the window was gone. I didn't see him leave. The driver didn't stop. The woman noticed too. I could see it in her eyes. We didn't say anything, but we both knew. A few minutes later, the bus stopped. No one pressed the button. The doors opened anyway. Cold air rushed in. The woman stood up slowly. "Is this your stop?" I asked. She shook her head, but she stepped off anyway. The doors closed. The bus moved again. Now it was just me and the figure in the back. I could feel it watching me. I didn't want to turn around, but I did, slowly. He was sitting upright now, face still hidden in shadow. "Do you know what stop this is?" I asked, my voice barely steady. It tilted its head, then spoke. "You're not supposed to be here." My chest tightened. "What do you mean?" He didn't answer. The bus stopped again. The driver turned his head slightly. "You should get off," he said. I didn't argue. I stepped out. The bus doors shut behind me instantly and drove off. I turned around. There was no road, no streetlights, no buildings, just darkness. And in the distance, I could see the bus again. But it wasn't driving, it was waiting, and every window was filled with people staring directly at me.
No one lives above me. At least, that's what the landlord said. I live on the top floor, or I'm supposed to. The first night, I heard footsteps, soft, slow, directly above my bedroom. I ignored it. Old buildings make noise. The second night, it happened again. This time, it sounded deliberate, walking back and forth. I called the landlord. "There's no one above you," he insisted. "There's no unit there." I laughed nervously. "Then what am I hearing?" Silence. Then, probably pipes. But pipes don't walk. That night, I stayed awake, listening. At exactly 2:17 a.m., the footsteps started. I grabbed my phone and recorded it. Each step was clear, measured, intentional. Then, it stopped, right above me. I held my breath. Something dragged across the ceiling, like fingers. I couldn't sleep after that. The next day, I went upstairs. There was a door I had never noticed before. Old, dusty, no number, locked. I knocked. Nothing. I pressed my ear against it. Silence. Then, a faint whisper from the other side. "You can hear me too." I jumped back. My heart was racing. I told the landlord again. He looked unsettled this time. "That door shouldn't be there," he said quietly. "What do you mean?" "There used to be a unit upstairs years ago, but what?" He didn't answer. That night, the footsteps came earlier, louder, faster, like something was pacing, waiting. At 2:17 a.m., it stopped. Then I heard it. A knock from above, 3 times. I stared at the ceiling, then a knock from inside my apartment, behind me. I turned slowly. The closet door was open. I don't remember opening it. Something moved inside, and in a voice that sounded almost like mine, it whispered, "You're in the wrong apartment." It started as white noise, just static. I use an old radio to help me sleep, the kind that picks up frequencies it probably shouldn't. That night, I woke up to it. Not loud, just different. The static wasn't random. It had rhythm, like breathing. I sat up, listening. And then I heard it. A voice, faint, broken. "Help me." I froze. It had to be interference, a signal crossing wires. "Hello?" I said, half joking. The static crackled, then, "You can hear me." My stomach dropped. I grabbed the radio. "Who is this?" A pause. "You're not supposed to answer." I almost turned it off, but something kept me there. "What do you mean?" The signal grew clearer. "I've been trying for so long." The voice sounded desperate, human. "Where are you?" Silence. Then, "Your room." I turned slowly. Nothing, just darkness. "You're lying," I said. "Look behind you." I didn't want to, but I did. There was nothing there. I laughed nervously. "Very funny." The radio hissed, then the voice changed, colder. "You didn't look long enough." My lights flickered. The static grew louder. "I can see you." I shut the radio off. The room went silent. Too silent. I lay back down, forcing myself to sleep. Morning came, everything felt normal. Until I checked the radio. It was unplugged. The cord wasn't even connected to anything. That night, at exactly the same time, the static came back. And this time, it wasn't coming from the radio. It was coming from inside the walls.